Through the decades, a subculture of women known by the term gold diggers have devoted their lives to destroying men. These filthy monsters are a plague upon our society and need to be held accountable for their actions. However, since these pathetic losers often work in secret to unleash their sinister plots against innocent men, we were compelled to launch an undercover investigation into this nefarious underworld. What we discovered cannot be summed up in the usual clinical language. Instead, gold diggers must be described as the hardened criminals they really are, and should be given long prison sentences based upon their dirty deeds. In the first case study, our team of experts were sent upon a particular surveillance mission that brought them in close contact with certain she-devils who had organized a local predatory ring. Several of the women involved in this syndicate worked as strippers in a low-class bar, where they practiced a type of illegal black magic upon male patrons in the audience. As our team soon learned, a typical routine that was used to hypnotize the unsuspecting fellows sitting below the stage required an attractive young gold digger to affect the senses of the gentleman by weaving and shaking her naked body while wailing with her voice in a high-pitched manner to the tempo of solemn bongo drums. After several repeated phrases of these percussive tracks, along with the siren-like utterances, those guys from such diverse backgrounds became mesmerized by the wicked performance. Since our investigators who sat in the audience were already aware of this nightly routine of sinister sorcery, they had prepared for the expected enchantment by stuffing their ears with wax prior to the show. In a balcony at the back of the club, where all the proceedings on the floor and up on stage could be viewed with crystal clarity, sat the gold digger queen, who could direct her girls by way of a secret sign language. She also used modern technology, such as a microphone that could broadcast her voice commands to the female crew anywhere in the building via earpieces. Another contrivance she had handy was an assortment of pocket-sized laser pointers, which she would flash on and off to enable coded messages to silently reach her co-conspirators below. It was by these devious measures that the ringleader was able to control the events, which were designed to fleece the innocent men on premises out of their hard-earned cash and valuables. Not to be outdone, our own squad had also utilized modern technology by being outfitted with the latest in miniature video cameras, which had been installed in normal-looking eyeglasses. With many of the images that had been collected in this way, our team was successfully able to have the nasty gold digger gang arrested by the police that very night after the performance, and the subsequent thefts had been live-streamed to the local precinct. As a result, the whole syndicate was quickly hauled off to jail in a paddy wagon. What a joy it was to see the entire ruthless crew being handcuffed and taken away to spend the night in a row of dirty, stinky jail cells. Mission accomplished. Back at our headquarters, the division that was devoted to compiling records on prominent men who had been duped by clever gold diggers throughout the years had been hard at work trying to solve this monumental problem. To help all of our members better understand the scope of this heartbreaking dilemma, a slideshow had been created to inform the personnel in our organization just what we were up against. As the images of the smiling wealthy men, alongside the evil gold diggers who eventually cheated each of them out of large fortunes, were flashed upon a giant screen in front of our 937 employees, a sudden hush had fallen over their lips. The apparent shock was so brutal that more than one of our members had fainted, due to a corresponding distress that overcame them after learning about such terrible criminal activities. Because of this overwhelming grief and passing out so quickly, several of our workforce had to be rushed down to the 7th floor of our office building, where they were revived with smelling salts by the nurses in our department clinic, who were on duty there. To cope with the tragedies that are caused by rampant gold digger beasts across this nation, our institution has compiled an educational package that has as the main objective to properly inform men about how to successfully thwart the efforts of female parasites who prey upon lonely men. One of the best items of advice that we offer is for those fellows who are going to marry a much younger woman to make sure that they make their fiancé sign a rock-solid prenuptial agreement before the wedding day. Included in the free kit is our version of this important document, which was drawn up by our best team of men's rights advocates. We hope to challenge the unfair advantage that women have over men when it comes to relationships. In another sector of our building is the Special Gold Digger Pranks team. This is one of our newer departments and has some extremely talented young members who work assiduously at waging psychological warfare against those females who make a career out of defrauding men. Some of the guys who work in these offices are highly computer literate. Several of the brightest among them are often stationed at their terminals long into the night in a bid to entrap the most rotten gold diggers in their schemes to cheat honest men out of most or all of their money. Two of the most prominent websites that are currently being targeted are OnlyFans and SeekingArrangements.com. Our technicians on duty with this team most often make contact with the female fraudsters via these two online companies. It should be pointed out that these fellows are brilliant at posing online as lonely older rich men who seek companionship. Once they are listed on either of these two websites as eligible bachelors with substantial financial means, it isn't long before professional gold diggers begin to show interest by initiating contact with them. The main idea behind this psychological warfare approach is to try and frustrate the attempts by unscrupulous women, so they will eventually give up their careers at cheating males. Our technicians are dedicated to this outcome and often succeed at stopping these criminals cold. By leading these gold diggers down so many blind alleys is a great game plan. One such tactic is, the perceived older man online will convince the female, who shows fake interest in him, to meet him for dinner at a high-class restaurant. He tells the young woman to go ahead and sit at a table he has reserved, and then calls her to say that he will be a little late in arriving, and that she should go ahead and order some expensive drinks and appetizers. Of course, no one ever shows up to meet the young villain, which forces her to cut her losses and pay for the food and drinks she has consumed. This is the kind of blockade our institution is involved with, that is designed to protect men from these nasty ugly she-devils. Let us hope that we can someday put an end to the professional gold digger as a career.